Welcome back to the Weekly Manga Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all of your favorite ongoing Japanese manga. This week, we're going to compete to draft the best manga magazine from all the existing manga magazines by picking our favorites in turn as a draft and have quick chats about them along the way. We're going to do that. We're going to have manga news and even more coming right up. Hello again, my name is Bruce. I am the proprietor of the White Gray Black YouTube channel. This week I am joined again by my constant co-host Gautam.
Hello.
And competitor, since we are going to do this week on the podcast a manga draft of currently published manga. So what that means is we are going to take turns selecting manga currently in publication to create our own sort of custom magazine. I'm going to pop that up on screen now. So we're going to figure out sort of what our magazines look like by the end of this. And we also want to know what your magazines look like. So go in the comments and drop your top 10 there of what you would pick of just your favorite 10 currently published manga. We are also going to have a little competition at the end of this. So we're going to draft our 10. We're going to talk about them a little bit. And then there is going to be a poll in the comments, either of the podcast or YouTube video you're watching. You can go in and vote and decide which one of us wins, and we will figure out a prize. What do you think, Gautam?
Yeah, sounds great. Wait, and just to clarify, I came into this thinking I would make my choices, and the choices would the choices aren't necessarily my favorites, but what I think would win.
That is fair if you want to play that way.
I want to play that way.
If you're going to play to win, you play to win. I think I'm going to play with my favorites, and I think that is how I'm going to win.
You know what? If you've read Bakuman, they say mangaka can be successful in two different ways: making what sells and making what they love, and both are valid ways. All right. And I'm like the greedy asshole in that manga who's making what sells. Okay. So I'm going for the gold.
Yeah, it's time to prove which of those works. I will draft the things that I love. You're going to draft to win. Let's go over the rules just really quickly. We're going to do this as a snake draft. That means the first person to pick is going to pick one manga, and the next person is going to pick two. We will then alternate picking two until we get back to the first person, who will pick one until we hit 10. The first pick is going to be decided by coin flip. I will flip the coin, and I will have Gautam call it. That way it's split there. For manga publications that we're using, basically we're grabbing from anything we want as long as it is currently being published. Do we want to say not currently on extra long hiatus? Do we want to just discount Hunter x Hunter, or you want to leave that on there?
I think it's like self-sabotage to put Hunter x Hunter on the list because it's like not really contributing to your magazine.
Yeah, I also would not put it in mine. So, but anyways, any magazines, I think the majority of...
I mean, it's good enough to put it, I feel, but like I would be going in, if it was on my list, I'd have 9 options because it won't be in the magazine the week
exactly right. Like you'd be published for a year. Yeah. There might be 3 chapters. But anyway, the majority of these are going to come from stuff like Weekly Shonen Jump, Jump Plus, Weekly Shonen Magazine, those types of things. So those are generally the magazines we read most of our content from. So take a look at those. They have lists on their Wikipedia pages of what's currently being published if you want to go and use those to build your list too. So when we are done, we will go over what our magazines look like. You'll see them on screen here, or they will be in the comments on the podcast if you want to take a look there. We're going to let you decide by a poll listed in the same place who's going to win. And we will decide probably by the end of the episode what that is. Usually we just like buy each other dinner or go to a movie and buy movie tickets or something. So with all that, I think we can get into it. Let me open the coin flip. Let me put that on screen. All right. That flip doesn't count. Gautam, I want you to call heads or tails.
Tails.
I'm flipping the coin. It is tails. So I will let you choose if you want to draft first or second.
I'll go first, and you might as well just throw one piece in there.
Yep. I think that is something that we talked about when we thought this up. It was basically
like it's not even like a it's not even a question, right? Yeah. Whoever goes first gets One Piece.
Yeah, this is popularity and favorite angle. One Piece is, yeah, it's the cream of the crop. I think that in most draft situations, there's usually a first pick, the guy. There's usually maybe sometimes 2 or 3 if you're doing like a huge football draft or whatever. But this is uncontested. You want a successful magazine, you want a good thing. One Piece is what I would also pick first here. Because if you don't pick it first, it's getting picked second or third immediately. So,
well, not only is it my favorite manga, but it is like logically, it is the most popular manga in the zeitgeist, right? Yes. It has been chart topping for decades and is like the 3rd most selling comic of all time.
And I think it's going to pass
maybe
Batman.
Second now.
It might have passed Batman again. I don't know. Batman and it were trading places like 2 or 3 years ago. I think Batman surged ahead, but it's either second or third. And I think it's going to pass Superman by the end. Would be my guess. That I think One Piece will be the most successful comic property by the time it ends.
And that's just insane, considering this is like a single running story and not like a property that's been around for like 100 years. That is how popular it is, and that's why even if you hate One Piece, it should still be your number 1 pick in a draft situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a no brainer, but it's also good. I mean, let's not discount the fact that it's like,
I love it.
It isn't just that it's like hyper popular everywhere. It's like, no, One Piece is legitimately good. The chapter that will have come out by the time you are listening to this is insane.
Yes.
We will not spoil that, but yeah, we'll talk about it after. Okay, this. Is there anything else to say about One Piece, or are we good?
No, enough has been said. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You go ahead, Bruce.
Okay, so this is the harder point. I knew that if I went first, I was picking One Piece, and then I was going to see what you picked to figure out the next ones. Me being second pick is difficult. I'm thinking of what I want to pick here. I think I know what one of my 2 is, so I'll go ahead and put it in there. This is from, which magazine is this from? I don't have Weekly Shonen Magazine. This is from Weekly Shonen Magazine, I believe. And I think the first thing, I don't know, maybe this will surprise you, maybe it won't. I'm going to go Ranger Reject first.
That is not one I would choose, but one I love, and I would buy your magazine for what it's worth.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the thing, is that people might pick yours for being the more popular magazine. I'm going with stuff I love, and I love this so much. Ranger is awesome. We talk about Ranger quite a bit here. I mean, it's gonna the anime. It's
very unique.
The anime is airing. Yeah, there was some. I interacted with some stuff on Twitter the other day where someone was like, I see people talking about Ranger. Can you pitch it to me in a tweet? And like every pitch tweet, including the one that I wrote, was like completely different, but they were all correct. One of them was like, oh, it's like The Boys with Power Rangers. And it's like, yeah, it kind of is. And I said, it's a double agent spy thriller, which it is also that. It's incredibly well written. The art is cool. It's interesting. It has a great main character. I love Ranger Reject. It is honestly one of, if not my favorite things to read every week. I just adore it. I think it belongs in my magazine of favorites.
Hey, you know what? I would say I look forward to reading Ranger Reject even more than manga I would consider to be better, or that I would say I like more. Yeah. It's that good that I love, even though I wouldn't put it above like a Sakamoto Days. Mm-hmm. I absolutely adore it, and I look forward to reading it probably second after One Piece.
There's something to be said for, I'm just like, I'll compare this to television because that's something people are kind of more familiar with, or movies even. There's something to be said about TV like Chernobyl or something, right? Which is like, everyone knows that that's like an amazing miniseries, super well watched, or even something like The Sopranos, which is like, high drama, or Succession maybe is a better modern comparison. It's high drama. It's extremely competently made. It's very entertaining. But putting that up against something like Breaking Bad, where it's a bit more exciting, right? There's drug cartels and explosions and stuff in Breaking Bad, where it's high drama, it's well written, and it's entertaining. It's just one of those like it has everything type of things. That's the way I think about Ranger Reject. Is like, is it the best? Is it like Succession levels of writing? Like, no, but it's like it's really good and it's really entertaining and it's really interesting. And yeah, I love Ranger Reject. So
yeah, it's fucking great. Good choice.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I think for number 2, if we're going with favorites, I think I have to go similar vein. I'm gonna head over to Jump Plus to grab this one. This is gonna be Dan to Dan.
I fucking knew that one.
Okay. And maybe these should be reversed in order, because as far as like my favorite things that I like reading, Dan to Dan is probably top because it's just awesome every week. Again, this is the best. I love Dan to Dan. I think it's the best manga being published right now. Like 3 out of 4 weeks in the month. I think like, what's the best thing I read that week? And it's like, Dan to Dan just gets you hyped. It's awesome.
And I stand by that. Like Dan to Dan has not had a bad chapter, not even once.
No, it hasn't. I mean, and it hasn't had a bad arc. Its arcs, in my opinion, almost keep getting better. The art is insane.
It's kind of insane. The consistency of Dan to Dan is just incredible. That's the real achievement. Is like, sure, it's phenomenal in so many ways, but how does it never miss? Even One Piece is missed, and that's my favorite. Like everything I've read has had like its down moments. Ranger Reject,
even Ranger has its down moments, right?
Yeah. Like, but Dan to Dan has not had a down moment. It has only been up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and the other thing to mention is that like, because manga is a visual storytelling medium, there was a lot of value placed on the visuals, and if you wanted to ask me like which mangaka would you most like to have just like, a print by or a poster or something that they drew, it's Dan to Dan. Like that, I don't like, maybe it's Murata, but I think I would go Dan to Dan. I think his art's more interesting. Like Murata is pretty clean. I don't know. Murata's hard to go up against, and I do think he's still the best action guy, but Dan to Dan I think is like second in like everything else. Like I don't know if you saw, he did some art of Tower Dungeon, which we talked about last week on the pod, which is a video that's kind of blown up, which I'm very happy about. But his fan art of Tower Dungeon is awesome. His fan art of like every other thing he draws is like, wow, I would rather see this guy draw than whoever the original artist is.
He is just that good. It's weird. I felt that way about Kubo back when he was active, because his like fan arts of other like manga are always so good because he is just a phenomenal character illustrator. I don't know.
He's a great artist, and I really like to Burn the Witch. I don't think that's something that qualifies to go on here, but I really hope we get more Burn the Witch this year. I heard that we're going to get it. So.
I hope so.
Okay, Gautam. That's it for my picks. Back over to you. Just pick one at a time. What is your number 2 pick here?
Spy X Family.
Ooh, okay. That is not what I would expect you to pick. I thought that one, I guess if you're going popularity. See, I thought that one would be mine to grab because I love Spy Family.
I like it too. But truly it is a phenomenon at the moment, which is why I picked it. But it really checks every box. It's good because I don't know of too many more manga that has such a wide range of appeal.
Yeah.
Even the ones we see on this list, I don't think reach as widely as Spy Family does, because I think that the arc with the children, at school, like all the Anya stuff is cute for both adults and kids. The spy stuff is there for anyone seeking like a little bit of action. Same with the assassin stuff. I think it's like constantly pivoting, so you never get bored of it.
Yeah, and it's all of it. All the angles of it are good. Like, I think a lot of people, especially if you're primarily watching like action shonen type things, thought, oh, cool, this is going to be, spy infiltration. The dad's the main character. He's going to be getting in. It's like, no, like Anya's the main character. It's, about 50% cute fluff and 50% other, actiony stuff, but does both of them really well. It has really good character writing. It has really good art. Speaking of good art, yeah, the Spy Family author is amazing. I wish I had all these authors in front of me. My brain is too full and turned off right now. But
Endo
yeah,
Tatsuya,
Tatsuya Endo. Yeah, he's a great artist. Yeah, and I really like Spy Family. I think you're right that this may be the broadest appealing manga of like all time. Other than maybe something, but even the other stuff I think is more children aimed, right? Stuff like Doraemon, which is like that's everyone can watch that, but that's aimed at kids, right? And Spy Family is like, if you're like 8, you can read Spy Family. If you're like a mom, you can read Spy Family. If you're like a 60-year-old dad, you can read Spy Family and get something out of it. Like literally everyone can read this and enjoy part of it or all of it.
I bought a coin purse for when I went to Japan, and I had conversations with people who recognize the Spy Family coin purse, right? I think nobody would have struck a conversation with me if I had a Doraemon coin purse because they would think I'm weird, right? It's like
Sesame Street versus I don't know, something else.
Exactly. If I had like a Barney backpack as an adult, I don't think people would talk to me. But like, I don't know, if I had a Pokemon shirt on, I'm sure people could relate, right? It's one of those things that is great for kids, but also is okay as an adult to enjoy as well, because it hits like every age group, every demographic, a lot of different genres. Like it works in so many ways, and it's such a catch-all manga that I could see. I definitely put it at number 2. It's just gonna sell.
I think I think it's a good choice. I think that probably would have been maybe my next choice or one of my next choices, because I really like Spy Family. I think a lot of the discourse I see on Twitter and Reddit is again from people who are primarily into the scene through the sort of action shonen angle. A lot of them don't realize or don't watch or appreciate Spy Family for what it is, for how good it man, I've been trying to make a video for like a year now on how good the first chapter of Spy Family is at like telling a complete story, introducing characters, giving them a journey to go through. Like the writing in it is really sensational. I think because it tends to go into little, vignettes of daily, cute girls doing cute things more often, and it's every 2 weeks. I think a lot of people just don't like that, but it's really good. Cute girls doing cute stuff with Anya, right? Like, so I enjoy that. So.
I also think that reaction faces are just perfect, right?
Yeah, like second only to One Piece, maybe.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, so good. All right, that's Spy Family, Gautam. What is your number 3 pick here?
Oh, shoot. I had one. It's Oshinoko.
Okay. Oshinoko. That's again another very popular series. Another good one, though.
It's blown up, but I've always had Oshinoko's back because I would put money on Akka any day of the week. If Kaguya was still running, that would have been number 3. But Oshinoko it's booming right now, and for a good reason. It is fucking weird. It's just a weird manga.
It is.
I think it has such a great hook from the beginning, and nothing else has a hook like this. It's just like a bizarre hook.
Yeah, people, when the first episode aired and it was that hour-long thing or whatever, people were going wild. And when the first chapter came out, we were like, oh, from the author of Kaguya, it was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is way weird.
And I think you get like a variety of people who read it as well. You get the people who love incest, and then you get people who love nuanced deconstructions of the entertainment industry. And then you get the people who love the deconstructions who also love incest, and that's like a weird territory to be in, but
yes,
hey, there you go. I'm getting and those three markets.
The Venn diagram of people who like incest and then all those other things is a huge overlap apparently for Oshinoko.
Yeah,
so.
I bet.
That's good. I mean, extremely popular, top of the sales. I agree with you. I think Aka Akasaka is one of the greatest modern writers. I hope he keeps writing. I need to catch up on Renai Daiko, his other romance thing he's writing. But yeah,
me too.
Kaguya-sama, Oshinoko, I think might. Kaguya brought him into the spotlight, but I think right now it looks like Oshinoko is going to be kind of maybe like the thing he's remembered for writing. And I
think so.
Yeah, and I mean, I also think that Mango Yokoyari, the artist, like she's
so talented.
Amazing. Yeah. Speaking of another, good artist who is awesome, she's like a huge Chainsaw Man fan, and she draws a bunch of Chainsaw Man fan art and stuff that is really good. So.
Yeah, and I think that it's probably reason Chainsaw Man can't go into my magazine, because there's like a conflict of interest there.
Well, that's good. We'll move over to mine then. And I think I think that will be my number 3. I think I will take Chainsaw Man here. Because it's
a good one. Yeah.
It's a good one. And you know what? It's currently being published, and we're not really, I don't want to be like, we haven't gotten to the good stuff yet, because that's not true, because it's all good. And I like all of it. Chainsaw Man is just one of the most interesting it is like, if you ask me what it is, like, yes, it is a devil killing action battle shonen. If you watch this podcast very much, you know that we don't like those. I don't like those specifically very much. I have a lot of problems with how many WSJ tries to introduce. But Chainsaw Man is different, man. I like it because it is so different. Denji is a great main character. Asa is a great main character in part 2. I don't know how to talk about this without being like, it's weird, it's wild, it has all this movie influence of like B-movie horror. It's so good. It's so weird and different and compelling, when so many other things that try to copy it are just don't get why Chainsaw Man is better than they are.
And it's also just a very good and nuanced character study on these incredibly flawed characters. Mm. And it's initially sold as it's funny, Denji's goal in life is just to touch boobs. And that is funny, and that is a good hook, right? Because it's like it's flipping the trope of having lofty goals on its head by having someone with very low stake goals. Yeah. And then, of course, Fujimoto does what he does best, and as soon as Denji achieves his goal, he feels hollow, and he understands that he has to set new goals, and it continues. And that's like, it turns into good character development. Yeah. When you're initially the appeal is that his goals is just a shitpost, right? You're just like, oh, I want to touch boob. And then you kind of unravel that you have a deep character as you go.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you said it. I think part of what makes Chainsaw Man so good is that it is a deconstruction in a way that, all of these other action battle shonen have. Yeah, I want to be the pirate king. I want to be the magic king or whatever. I want to be the shaman king. I want to, protect my world from all the space aliens invaders. And then Denji's just like, I'm 16 and I want to touch boobs. You're like, oh, haha, that's funny. But then by the end of it, that's like a super important fact to his character, that like he hasn't experienced all of these things that other kids his age have experienced because of all the devil shit that goes on. It's the characters are really what make Chainsaw Man. I mean, Denji, Power, Makima in the first one, and Denji, Asa, Nayuta in the second one now. Those, like, as far as like top characters of the past 5 years, like I think almost all of them deserve to be on maybe a top 10, top 20 list. So yeah, Chainsaw Man, definitely for the characters here. All right. Anything else about Chainsaw Man, or I'm going to take my next pick?
No, you should go for it.
All right. I'm going to go a little bit more niche here. I'm going to take Akane Banashi.
Oh, you son of a bitch. That was going to be my next one.
Yeah. And this is why drafting is fun, because Akane fucking rocks. Like, so One Piece or Akane has been the best chapter in Weekly Shonen Jump since Akane debuted. There has been maybe 1 or 2 times where Sakamoto Days I thought was the best chapter of the week. Every other time, it's either One Piece, or if One Piece isn't airing, I think it's Akane Banashi. Like that, the writing in this series is so nuanced and so good. The character stuff is amazing. The fact that it's set up, kind of like a sports manga early on, it hasn't really been that recently. It's transitioned out of that. It's dramatic. It's family. The characters are great. It's fun. It's funny. It's exciting to read someone just go on stage and perform Rakugo. I don't know how they do it. I do know how they do it. It just would take a long time to go over, but yeah,
it is good in every way. Yes. You're so right, and it's like Rakugo's not even a subject I'm interested in.
No,
but
I am now.
A good story makes me interested. Exactly.
Yeah, I've done more research on Rakugo since it come out. Just be like, oh, that's interesting. What is that? Like I learned about. I'm not going to remember the name of it, but So minor tangent. You remember how you don't like it when like the girl hits the guy, like the girl hits the guy when he does something like stupid or whatever in shows and stuff. Like that's like not a trope that you like. That trope,
really a trope I like.
Comes from it's Rakugo adjacent. It's another type of performance art. I think it's based in Kyoto, and it's essentially there's this idea of like the fool and the straight man. Like that's like an artistic style in Japan. And one of the big like tropes from that era, this is like 100 years old almost now, is that like the straight man hits the fool when he does something stupid. And so like that's where that comes from. That's why the Japanese like have that more than Western media, is that that's like built into their like historical performance art. But tying that in again to like Rakugo, I would not have known that little fact if I hadn't been researching Rakugo from Akane Banashi.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Huh. Which this rocks. Like the art is amazing. Like the chapter 100 like spread, the cool story worlds, all the character designs are great in this. That's something I don't hear people talking about, but all the characters super unique, super well designed, identifiable. This is such a good series. I love Akane.
Me too. It's just fucking great.
Yeah, super good. All right, Gautam. Your number 4. What is next on your draft list?
Nagatoro.
Okay. I'll just put Naga. I won't type out the whole thing. That's interesting. That was one that I was thinking about before we did this draft. So this is don't bully me, Miss Nagatoro-san, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I need a romance in here just to hit my quota.
Yeah. And you don't read Blue Box, so.
And no, I was going to take Blue Box from you, but I figured leaving you with Nagatoro wouldn't be the best for me. I think Nagatoro is better.
They're both
because I have read Nagatoro and I haven't read Blue Box. But I just have a gut feel that Nagatoro is better. And that you'd want it more, so I took this. And I don't know the sales figures, but I have to imagine it sells like hotcakes.
Nagatoro sells pretty well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely very good.
But yeah, that's my reason for Nagatoro. I also think it's just a genuinely good manga. I think before this, I would have said Kaguya as my favorite romance manga, but Kaguya's over. So at the moment,
published. So
yeah, I'd say my current favorites are Nagatoro and the one with the Yamada. I forgot what the English name is.
Does Destroy All Humans or the?
Oh, actually, sorry. Yeah, I would have picked Destroy All Humans. That's another one I was thinking of.
Yeah, someone just got licensed, too niche. So.
But also too niche for my magazine. It's The Dangers in My Heart. That's what it's
yeah. Yep.
That would have been my other pick. But
gotcha.
Let's stick with Nagatoro for this one.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think Nagatoro is great. We recently had big events happening. Actually, very very large events in the past maybe 2 or 3 months in Nagatoro. Nagatoro is not as surprising necessarily that you picked it, but that manga in general, I think, has surprised a lot of people who got into it and stuck with it, because it pretty quickly sloughs off the bullying of Nagatoro, and it becomes a very
it happens quite fast. Luckily.
Yeah,
I bounced off like the first chapter for sure.
Yeah, very sweet, cute romance, and it's Reiwa romance, right? The new romance, because they go places and they do stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome. Anything else on Nagatoro, or you wanna draft one more?
Nope. Let's go to my next one.
What's next?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, he's taking it.
If
I don't actually know how to spell this. Is that right? I think
that looks right. If any of you are reading Jujutsu Kaisen and want to see it end, vote for me. Otherwise, you won't see the ending to Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah. You might not care about it, but just know that you can only read the ending in my magazine because I publish it.
This is, I'm not gonna lie, this is a dirty pick. This is, I'm mad at you for this one, because when I was thinking about all things that we both read, I was like, well, he's not gonna take, I was like, the stuff that'll make people vote for him, he's not gonna, right? Like if he takes, like Jujutsu Kaisen or like My Hero Academia or something.
You didn't think I'd be an asshole about it.
I didn't know. I thought that we were going to be drafting like, these are my favorites. Do you like my favorites better or Gautam's favorites better? But you're playing to win. So I respect that. And I think Jujutsu Kaisen probably buys you the win solely here. Just guys.
Well, I think in society, this would buy me the win. But let's see what I don't know if our audience thinks. Likes Jujutsu Kaisen at all. But
yeah, we'll see.
If this was being sent to the general public, I think this would be nail in the coffin.
I think the 1-2 punch of One Piece Jujutsu Kaisen is an instant knockout. I don't know if there's anything I could draft here. Even I think the only thing I could probably draft here, which I'm not going to because I don't think it counts. Well, Hunter x Hunter and Berserk, which are maybe the two that you could throw in there to be like, oh, maybe there's a competition, but I
don't know if Berserk has the pull.
Yeah, Berserk. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's very popular, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a tricky situation after Mira's death.
Yeah,
I don't know if it has like the weight it once did.
Yeah,
in terms of sales. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers.
And just for reference, listener or watcher, the reason we're not talking about why Jujutsu Kaisen is good or bad is because neither of us read it or are caught up on it. But we do know that it has pull. We understand that Jujutsu Kaisen is the flavor of the year, the past 2 years, maybe. Very popular anime adaptation, but yeah.
And just know, I would have, if Demon Slayer was still being published, I would have put Demon Slayer here instead.
And I would have judged you possibly harsher because for that. Okay. Yep. I think that's a smart pick going for the win. That's not something that I ever would have picked. So,
I know.
Awesome. Okay. Back to me again. I might have to do a little bit of looking here. I think I'm going to see. I don't know how popular that is. There's definitely some stuff. I want to look at Jump Plus real quick because I think I have one of them. Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay. Okay, I cannot betray my ideals. I have to. I think I can leave that to last though. Is the thing. Okay, fuck it. I'm taking Sakamoto Days.
That is just a good pick. It has been off both of our lists for a bit too long for comfort. If you're going off my favorites, that would have been like maybe my number 2 choice.
Yeah, and I mean, again, speaking about sort of Weekly Shonen Jump, what's like the best chapter or the best like top 3 or top 5? Like Sakamoto Days is always up there. I also think this is any manga series that does one thing really well, like it doesn't have to do everything really well, but if it picks one thing, leans into doing that one thing super well, I really can enjoy it for that one reason. And Sakamoto Days has by far the best choreography of any comic book I have ever, maybe any media property I have ever seen. There are some movies and stuff like John Wick that are also very good, but Sakamoto Days is on the level of like John Wick, The Raid, all those kinds of, the Jackie Chan Hong Kong movies. It's on that level of creativity, and it also has like a fantasy, it's a manga, so you can do wilder stuff in it. I love it for that reason. It's so good. It's also like a pretty compelling story, like decent characters. Like they aren't necessarily the same kind of like characters that grow over time that much, but the actual plot is interesting. Yeah, but you're here for the action. It gives you good action. It gives you fun characters to watch. The sniper rifle guy is maybe the greatest character of last year, I would say.
He's so funny.
It's so good, so funny. The volume where he is on the cover is also hilarious. That very recently came out.
And the best side character of this year is like the old man from Sakamoto. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I absolutely adore Sakamoto Days. Again, one of those ones where visual storytelling really takes the lead. It's great. I love it. It's awesome. It's action. Yeah, I don't know. It's action gold. It's one of the best things Weekly Shonen Jump has right now. When that gets an anime, I think that's going to be the next thing that blows up. So yeah, I pick Sakamoto Days.
That's a good pick because it's inevitable. Like its sales figures are so fucking strong despite not having an anime.
Mm-hmm. It's like top 10.
The moment it gets one, it's seriously like, and the moment it gets one, it's going to be chart topping, right? Like that's
absolutely
it's nutty. I think this is the best pick to hedge your bet for the future. Like my Jujutsu Kaisen might be an incredible short-term pick that'll get me instant sales, but Sakamoto Days is like putting something in your 401k because like in a year, I imagine
if you're watching this, if you're watching this in the year 2026, 2027, I would say, you're more likely thinking like, oh yeah, Sakamoto Days is the greatest thing ever. Cause I'm hoping it has an anime by then.
I hope so.
Kaisen, yeah, I don't think it's a short-term investment. I think people are still very, very invested in that manga, but
I just say short-term because it's going to end soon.
Yes, very, very possibly. We'll have to talk about in another episode at some point how we'll hang a lantern on all the stuff that's ending in Jump this year. Or maybe we'll let it end and then talk about it. Okay. Let's see. My number 6 pick. Let's get to it. My number 6 pick is going to be. Let's see. I am going to take here in this one something else that I think is very good. This is my counter to your Spy Family. I'm going to take Kindergarten Wars.
That is a counter, but it's like I don't know. It's like picking the number 2, the second best. You know?
I agree.
But it's a good choice. Like Kindergarten Wars rocks.
Okay, there we go. Spelling is bad. Yeah, Kindergarten Wars is great, and I think it's good for a lot of the same ways and same reasons we talked about with Spy Family. It has kind of broad appeal. It's like a little bit narrower, but like if you're 8 years old, you can enjoy this. It's not that bad. If you're a mom or you care about kids or you're like a parent or you're a dad, like it appeals to all those people. It's massively popular. This is another one that, again, anime adaptation is going to blow it up. I think the art is great. The characters are fun and funny. I think this has more of a romance angle, which is something that makes me like it a lot. And I like the way it's handled its romance so far. It's been kind of slow and steady, but still progressing. Its little side romances are fun. The action is really good and creative. Again, it's really wild. It makes you smile. Yeah, Kindergarten Wars. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. It's great. I think it is. I think while it is pretty popular, I think it's a little underappreciated in the West. Again, kind of in the same vein, like I was saying with Spy Family, where I think people don't appreciate how good Tatsuya Endo is of a writer and writing sort of these styles and these characters that he likes. I think similarly, Kindergarten Wars, people are like, oh yeah, haha, like funny romance, protect school children, big action explosion, whatever. It's like, no. Like there's some really, really good character writing in Kindergarten Wars. Almost all the flashbacks we've gotten. The most recent one, the last couple of months, we got a flashback for one of the teachers that was like absolutely heartbreakingly sad. And you wouldn't think reading the first 2 or 3 chapters, like, is this series going to make me want to cry when it does a flashback for one of these teachers? It's like, I wouldn't have guessed it, but here we are. It did. And it's really, really good.
Well, good choice. Yeah, that's one of the ones I wanted to, because it's just very good. It's very
good,
fun,
broad appeal. Yeah, super, super good. Okay, we are back to you, Gautam, with your 6 and 7 choice.
Okay, yeah, it is Frieren.
All right,
Frieren at the funeral.
We'll just put Frieren in there.
Okay, yeah.
Beyond a Journey's End. This is another one along with Ranger that I think the fan name is better. I think Frieren at the Funeral is a cool name, and Frieren Beyond Journey's End is okay.
I think it's a good name. It's just like the fan name is so much better, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it just works.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's cool if you can go, wait, let me explain the Japanese to you. Let me explain the Japanese where like Frieren at the Funeral means that she could be like bringing you to your own funeral or just an attendee at a funeral because people are falling dead around her because she's so old. Anyways, there's nuance in there.
Yeah, it works in a lot of ways, but yeah.
Tell me why you picked Frieren here, other than it's popular.
It's popular. No, to be honest, one, yes, it's popular, but 2, this manga has been like, I think anyone who has read a chapter of Frieren before the anime even came out knew that this was gold. Mm-hmm. Like they knew they were reading something special. And Bruce, you and I knew we were reading something special after the first chapter when it came out.
For sure. I mean, I think we had the first 5 or 6 at a time, but I still read it and it was like, wow, this is like really different, really good.
Yeah, it is just quality. Mm-hmm. And it captures like so many things at the same time. I think it perfectly captures melancholy, but I find it to be funny, maybe not laugh out loud funny, but it's funny, charming, sweet, but also it gets you hyped up. It goes into like the depths of like humanity's sins, it gets like it gets fucked up. But I think the thing I like most about Frieren is I don't think there's any other like manga or anime out there that really goes into fantasy lifespans and how that affects, because we have a lot of fantasy shit, but we don't really see what it's like when the elf ends up living 1,000 years and the human ends up living 70, right?
Yeah. The only other series that did it was Delicious in Dungeon, which is ended, so we can't draft it here. But yeah, those are the only two
I
series,
know. I wish
really.
I could. But no, exactly. And I think that in and of itself is such a unique premise, exploring fantasy lifespans.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes that already good premise and does a million other good things with it. So
yeah,
it's an easy fucking pick for me.
Yeah, super good.
Even if it wasn't popular, I think I would put it in here.
I think, if you hadn't
just so I can win awards,
it was probably up next on mine, because that's Friar. Free. Okay, we have to correct ourselves here. It is actually free in the German, which I looked up. It is free. The Japanese also is technically more right, so free rent.
I'm just gonna live my life
like
free the consequences.
Yeah, free rent. Good pick. I think you, with all the popular things you were picking, it's hard for me to get in with my Kindergarten Wars Akane Banashi picks, but I'll stand proud.
You know what? I would have thrown Akane in here and been less successful in my magazine.
Potentially, yeah. I'm saving you from sabotaging your own.
Hey, but for what it's worth, I think our listeners might pick yours, because you definitely have all of the beloved hipster choices that I also love.
Yes.
And I'm appealing to like the mainstream, and nobody wants to be a normie, right? Like nobody wants to be
like, yes, I picked the one that has One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen in it. Because that's the better choice. All right.
My favorite food is pepperoni pizza. You know, it's like, okay. Yeah.
What's up next?
One Punch Man.
All right.
Would be insane not to throw the best art
actually was not
on there.
Yeah. For some reason, I just didn't even cross my mind as like a potential pick, but yeah, One Punch Man is, it's the GOAT of art.
It is.
Talking about how good the art is in all of these, I still think One Punch Man has the best art. Like, it's hard to argue that it's not just the best art. Or even if you don't like the art in a specific panel or chapter or page, it's hard to argue against Murata just being the best artist in manga. Like, he's awesome.
And it's like, it's tough because you see like the Dandadans of the world who are just doing phenomenal jobs week after week.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime we say it's like, oh, this just has the best art I've ever seen, it's like, we have to take a step back and be like, oh wait, Isuke Murata exists.
Yeah.
You know, we can't say that legally.
Yeah. Well, there's the only competition I think I would hear to the best artist against Yusuke Murata would probably be Inoue, the author of Vagabond and Slam Dunk and Real. I think he as an artist, just drawing like details and stuff, is pretty amazing. But I do not think he's as good at doing action paneling. I think Murata is better at sort of pacing and drawing your eye through a page and all that kind of stuff. So
the speed of output, like Murata is like,
even though it's every 2 weeks, it's like nuts. Holy crap! He's like, the things he is drawing in 2 weeks or 9 days or whatever it is crazy. Yeah, Murata is. Yeah, he may not be the most detailed artist. I think that a lot of people are going to come by and go, oh, well, this person draws, realism so well, and it's awesome.
Just look at the GIF someone made of all the manga panels of Geno's shooting his beam. It looks animated.
Yeah. That's how crazy that series of panels is in my video on action paneling that I did on the White Gray Black channel go check that out if you're interested to see that. The other thing is there's a series of panels with Speed of Sound Sonic fighting Saitama where he jumps around the trees of him and the camera pans around, and just going through the panels, it looks like you're watching anime. Like, that's how good he is at doing this action stuff. It's like you can just flip through the panels and it looks like you're watching an anime. It's that good.
Speaking of which, you could put Vagabond on your list, technically.
I'm not going to, because I read a couple chapters of it years ago and never caught up with it, but yeah. So I think it's back to me now, right?
Yep.
I believe it is. Okay. I'm trying to decide when I want to draft what, because there's some things where I'm like, I'm going to draft this because I know you're not going to take it from me, so I'll leave it to the end. I think, all right, I'm going to shoot myself. Maybe I'm not shooting myself in the foot. I don't know. I'm going to put Choji next here. I
wouldn't have taken that.
No, you wouldn't. You're not going to take this one from me. I have one more choice after this that maybe you would take. I don't know. Chojin X, I think, comes from the other angle for me. I think Chojin X has some of the worst action paneling I have ever seen. It is very confusing every time there's a fight. When there's a fight in Chojin X, it's my least favorite parts of the series. We talked about this. How we talked about this 2 weeks ago, last week maybe. This has some of the best character writing in manga right now. Insanely good. It is hard to express how subtle and nuanced a lot of the sort of character decisions are in a series where people are constantly like transforming into birds and raising people from the dead and controlling giants and doing all this weird stuff and going and like raiding poppy fields so they can't make cocaine. Like there's some wild shit in here. But man, Chojin X, it's one of those things where sometimes I'll be scrolling Twitter, Reddit, or whatever, where I go and find whenever new chapters are published. Sometimes I'll see something and I'll go, oh, hey, that's out. I'll come back and read that later. If Chojin X is out, like I'm pausing what I'm doing. I'm stopping what I'm watching. I'm in. I want to read Chojin X. So this is Sui Ishida. This is the author of Tokyo Ghoul. If you aren't aware, this is his newer series. Though it's been 2.5 years almost now.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah. Super good style. Character designs are great. This isn't necessarily a series that sort of has everything, but talking about series that lean into one thing, kind of like with Sakamoto Days, and its action choreography, I think Chojin X just has, like, as far as battle shonen, I think it probably has the best characters, the most well-written characters in this kind of dark action battle shonen genre type thing.
I really need to check it out then.
Yeah, you really do.
I'm sure I'd like it.
I would love for you to read and catch up on it because I do think it's really, really good. There's a lot of sort of nuance and individual looks that characters give. It's hard to explain without going into super detail, but yeah, I really, really like Chojin X. So yeah, I'm gonna draft that here. The next one I'm gonna draft, it's so hard to choose the right thing. I'm between two things here. I think I'm going to stick with my sort of, hey, this does one thing really, really well, and I think it's awesome for it. And I know, and you're not gonna draft it. I'm going to take.
Yeah, I wasn't going to draft Chain Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take Chain Soldier here. This is a little debatable, a little up in the air. This is primarily an ecchi battle series. I think this might be third place action art quality behind One Punch Man and Dan Dan Dan. I think I would put Chain Soldier next. This series rocks. I don't know how else to say it other than like, if you're okay with some weird lewd stuff, which like totally doesn't bother me. If there's like tits every 5 chapters, like I don't care.
Hey bro, that is literally the appeal.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is part of the appeal. And it's like the girls are gorgeous. That's a thing. The art I think is great. I think the art in this is excellent. It's disappointing to see the anime not quite capture how good the art is in Chain Soldier. Because this
same thing happened to Kame ga Kill.
Yeah. So their
last work. Yeah.
Yeah. The same. The writer. This is a different artist, I believe. But
okay.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see that because, yeah, like I said, I do think this is like, I think the art in Chain Soldier is probably better than like everything in Weekly Shonen Jump right now. Like I can't, like, yeah, I don't think I can think of anything because it's One Punch Man and Dan Dan who are on, like what is it, like Monthly Jump and Jump Plus. I think Chain Soldier, it's not in Weekly Shonen Jump, obviously, because too many tits. But yeah, this is my appeal for the ecchi guys to vote for me. Look, I've picked your Golden Child series. I know the manga rocks. The writing is actually really cool. The characters are good. Like this is not a bad series. If you can stomach or appreciate beautiful girls being a pretty key part of this series, I think Chain Soldier is awesome. I think it's really good. There's some really compelling stuff that happens, some good fights. The main character is a little bland, but it's not about him. It's about the girls. So I almost drafted. I almost took Rent a Girlfriend here, but I'm not caught up with it. And I thought that would be a little disingenuous to take that. But I think Chain Soldier is a good replacement. You're into slightly trashy, pretty girls, good art. really good art, really good action, really good, battle pacing, creative powers in this too. Like this has a cooler. This essentially is devil fruits from One Piece, kind of. They just kind of like, they eat a peach and it gives them whatever powers, and they are random. One girl just gets big. One girl can steal other people's powers. One girl does the change soldier thing. I don't know. I really like the series. Not for everybody, but it is for me. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a good choice, to be honest.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit down into sort of all right, we've picked the good stuff. What are we filling our magazine with? So we're back to you, Gautam. You're number 8. What do you got here?
Rent a Girlfriend? You're
gonna take it.
Yeah. It's a listen, I haven't read a single chapter, but it starts conversations.
Yeah.
Nay, it starts wars. People get heated about Rent a Girlfriend. Listen, if people are talking about my magazine, then that's all I want. I just want people to know I exist, and that's the best marketing of all. Hey, some weirdo freaks are screaming at each other about some dude's paid for girlfriend. Yeah, like that sounds crazy. What magazine is that in? Oh, it's Gautam Weekly Jump magazine. The name could use work.
This is good for me. I think you just shot yourself in the foot, boy. I think people are going to look and go, oh yeah, hell yeah, like One Piece, yeah, Oshinoko, Jujutsu Kaisen, Frieren, hell yeah. And they're going to be like, wait a minute, can I vote for the magazine that has Rent a Girlfriend in it?
You think they're going to put aside all of their favorites just because Rent a Girlfriend's in here?
I think they might look at my magazine and be like, well, his doesn't have Rent a Girlfriend in it, so that might be worth voting for. I think you know what?
I think they look at me and they'll be like, this guy's willing to take risks. He isn't abiding to convention. He is going for it. Like, if they looked through number 7, they would have said, oh, he just wants money. And then they see Rent a Girlfriend and they're like, oh, I don't know what this guy wants. Let me buy his magazine and figure it out.
That is the biggest twist for me so far. I can't. Yeah, that's. Wow. Okay.
Hey, don't worry. We'll bring it back to sales. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. Rent a Girlfriend, I think, is probably the most popular sort of harem ecchi right now. It's not really super ecchi, but harem shonen romance right now. I didn't expect it. I think my thing with Rent a Girlfriend that I see in a lot of discourse online is that there's not just a lot of like casual whatever fans about Rent a Girlfriend. There's a lot of people that really like it and everyone else fucking hates it. So I don't know if that's going to win you some votes of like, oh, hell yeah, he picked Rent a Girlfriend, or if the people who hate it are going to be like, absolutely cannot choose that now.
Yeah. So no, the Rent a Girlfriend's not here to win me any fans, any favors. It's not to get me votes. It's marketing because there are a lot of loud voices surrounding it, and that's free marketing right there. Okay. So Rent a Girlfriend existing in my magazine. And that weirdo author posting pictures of his like wife
drawing over his wife with
face. Yeah. That's like the best marketing you can ask for. It's easy. It sells itself.
It is curious. Looking at your magazine now, it is more curious of like, oh hell yeah, he's going for all the popular stuff, and it's like, wait a minute. But
why is Rent a Girlfriend?
He has also sold off his soul to put Rent a Girlfriend in his magazine.
Yeah, definitely. You might think Rent a Girlfriend is just this like chaos pick, but no, it's a marketing pick.
It is.
Trust me, it's all about the money.
It makes me notice it. It stands out.
Yeah.
Okay. You got your number 9 ready to go?
Yeah, Blue Lock.
Oh, okay. You are truly locking into popular stuff. Yeah, soccer.
I just need the sports category filled.
Yeah, fill the sports category. Yep.
I would have picked Haikyuu. Because I like Haikyuu a lot.
Haikyuu's a very good series, yeah.
You know what? Let's leave Blue Lock in there, and instead let me talk to you about Haikyuu. It is just the best sports manga in my opinion. I've been through a lot of sports manga. Go fucking read Haikyuu. It's just hype as fuck at any given moment. And volleyball is like not a sport I was interested in before. Either. So it's like, I don't know. It's just very good.
Oh, yeah. I like volleyball. That's also one you can easily suggest the anime for because the anime for Haikyuu is amazing.
It is a very good anime. The one criticism that people have is that you can see their faces through the nets without the net gradient.
Oh, they do the little, it's like a ghosting thing, but they want you to see the faces. That seems like a stylistic choice to me rather than too much.
To me, it seems like a reasonable compromise instead of like it just seems like a pain in the ass to like animate around that net.
Yeah.
So I'm like totally cool with it. But anyway, it's a great anime, great manga. Go read Haikyuu. But
Blue Lock, Blue Lock. I mean, Blue Lock is very popular. A lot of people like it.
I'm sure it's good. I just don't know about it.
Just drafting for the win. All right. Back to me. My last two choices here. I think you're right that you do need a sports manga. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to go a little bit more niche here. I'm going to go my last two things, since we're just doing two more, are going to be monthly magazine picks, which I was pretty confident you weren't going to take from me. So filling out kind of like 5 to 8 was a little bit harder, but yeah, I'm going to take Medalist here. Medalist is a sports manga about a little girl who does ice skating, and her coach, who was kind of in Olympic contention and then retired for various reasons. Kind of a dad and daughter type of story, but it's gorgeous. I actually think you want to talk about the best sports manga being published right now. I think
is it Medalist?
It's probably Medalist. Like, I can't imagine. I almost picked Dog's Red here, which I think is a close second. I think Dog's Red is a little bit too new for me to be like, hell yeah, all in on Dog's Red. I do like it a lot, and I'm a huge fan of Golden Kamui, the author's previous work. But yeah, Medalist is just wow. And this is me appealing a little bit more to the the female crowd. I know likes Medalist a lot, so I'm going to pull some of them in with this, because I alienated all of them with Chain Soldier, and then I got them right back in with Medalist. So,
well, you had them with Akane, and then you kicked them out with Chain Soldier, and then you brought them back with Medalist.
Back with Medalist, yeah. So look at mine. Yeah. Here's the thing: we have to decide. People are going to look at our list and be like, "Well, do I hate Rent a Girlfriend more, or do I hate Chain Soldier more? Which one is more looked down upon?" But yeah,
Medalist we both have like cursed number 8s. You're right.
Yeah, number 8s. Our number 8s in a head-to-head is a funny one. Yeah, Medalist is great. I cannot. Yeah, it's amazing. It's one of those things that won awards and is going to keep winning awards. And if we get, I think there's an announcement of an anime coming soon, maybe next season even. I think people are going to pay attention to that and bring it up. Gautam, can you guess what my last one is? I think you maybe can.
Oh, wait, hold on.
It's iOS.
Oh, yeah. Demons of the Shadow Realm. It's going to be Demon.
Yeah, I'm going to type the Japanese name in instead. But
yeah, that's fair.
Demons of the Shadow Realm, Yomi no Tsugai. Hiromu Arakawa, author of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's their new stuff. Why aren't you reading this? This is the best thing out right now. It is so good. I hate that it made it to number 10, but I knew that you weren't going to take this from me, so I was like,
I wasn't going to take it from you.
Yeah, but I knew that I could leave it to last.
It's also like, you know, when I said always bet on Akka, you always bet on Arakawa.
For sure. She's amazing. I like literally, yeah, I have her art book for Full Metal Alchemist back there. She's awesome. I think I don't have it in the front anymore, but yeah, this is, man, there was a little bit of a debate. Was I going to put JoJo Part 9 in here at some point? I decided not to. This is
I thought you would.
I almost did over like Chojin maybe, but I decided against it. JoJo would have been a smart pick to get popularity. I'm not going to give you a hint for that, but yeah, Yomi no Tsugai, Demons of the Shadow Realm. It's just awesome. Like people talk about how good Oda's world building is in, at this point, 1,100 chapters. Arakawa can do, right? Like, Full Metal Alchemist is what? I think it's like 110 chapters. And I think the world building in Full Metal Alchemist is like 90% as good as of what Akka's done in 1,000 chapters. She builds worlds so fast. She's such a good writer. Her characters are cool and competent. The magic system in this one is neat. I love Yomi no Tsugai. I will never stop talking about it. You need to be reading this. It is published in English. Go get it. Please read this. Demons of the Shadow Realm. Please read this. A chapter is published on Reddit and it gets like 50 upvotes. And this, for the sequel to the most popular anime of all time, I'm so mad. More people need to be reading this. It's so good. Go read Demons of the Shadow Realm. God, it's good. Okay. I'll put the English name so people know. Demons of the Shadow.
I don't know if people will know, but
it's also very long. It is now pushed into the center of my little display, but
that's fine. We're at the end of this anyway.
Yeah. All right, Gautam. So you have the last pick. Give me, what's your last draft pick here?
Yeah. Listen, bro.
Oh no.
I was very money forward throughout this whole competition.
Yep.
I was thinking dollar bills and numerical values, carrying twos and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've had some character development, and I won't pick Apothecary Diaries.
Okay. I thought you might pick that one, but yeah.
I was going to, because It appeals to a female audience. It is genuinely amazing.
Yep.
And it's popular, and it deserves all of its success. And that would have been my clincher. But instead, I'll vote with my heart. Put Yotsuba on there.
Okay. I can type. We're fine. Yotsubato. Yep.
Yeah, if I can give you a quick pitch on Yotsubato, it's about a little girl who is an energetic brat, and it's about her life and her doing stuff. And that sounds like a boring magazine or a boring comic, but it is not. It is an amazing, fun slice of life that will, I don't know, I feel like fill your heart a little bit, fill your empty soul full of happiness. At least it does for me. I puts a smile on my face every single time. Reminds me of my childhood, and truly it is just something to be read. It's a classic for a reason. It's been around probably longer than I've been on the internet, right? Like it was like 4chan's mascot before I even knew what 4chan was. So Yotsuba has been popular before the more recent manga and anime booms. And I think it still deserves the recognition it has. It's not something that's old that shouldn't have had the popularity it had. It is something that is very high quality. The author only releases chapters when they have a good idea. So in my magazine, I'll only be running these 9 until Yotsuba is ready.
And you get a couple of Yotsuba chapters.
And then I throw in a Yotsuba chapter here and there for when they're ready. But yeah, no, it is truly perfect. Probably my favorite slice of life manga, maybe tied with Silver Spoon. But I think I like it better than Silver Spoon. Both 10 out of 10s, but Yotsuba is a 10-er 10.
There are multiple S tier things, and some of them will appeal more to you personally. Yotsuba is your golden child, much like Damon's. Damon's of the Shadow Realm is I will always champion for this series till I die. Till it gets an anime, and then everyone will be like, oh my god, it's the sequel to Fullmetal Alchemist, or the next thing. So anyways, Yotsubato I think is a great choice. That's a very cute series. I read a little bit of it a couple of months ago maybe, when we talked about it. It's still cute.
And the best part about all of this is that I had character development, and I'm a better person now, and I'm not so money forward. And I already made my money from the other 9. So now I'm just like a fulfilled person who's also rich.
Yes, I agree. So
isn't that the best of both worlds?
That is the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, we've done the draft. We're done. Let me read through both of our full completed drafted magazines. Bruce's manga magazine, my manga magazine. I have taken the 10 series, Ranger Reject or Go-Go Loser Ranger, Dan to Dan, Chainsaw Man, Akane Banashi, Sakamoto Days, Kindergarten Wars, Chojin X, Chain Soldier, Medalist, and Demons of the Shadow Realm. And over in Gautam's manga magazine, you want to read those out for us, Gautam?
Heck yeah. I got One Piece, I got Spy X Family, Oshinoko, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Jujutsu Kaisen, Freyren at the Funeral, One Punch Man, Rent a Girlfriend, Blue Lock, Yotsubato. It's just weird. Like, it's weird, like all these hitters, and then Rent a Girlfriend's in here.
Yeah, it's a moneymaker. Yeah. Also, I realize now I should not have let you read that because you say the X in Spy Family when you're not supposed to say the X. So next time I'll read it.
It's too late. It's too late.
Yep.
We have to move on with my correct pronunciation of Hunter x Hunter and Spy X Family.
We do have to move on. All right, everybody. Hey, go down to the description of the video or the podcast, your audio you're watching right now. Go to that quick little poll. Tell us which one you think is better. We'll talk about it next week. Come back next week, and we'll let you know who wins, and we'll see what the prize will be then. So go give that a try. No news. Let's talk really briefly about one more thing. I think let's talk about Hades 2. Early access, Gautam. We're both playing this, but you brought it this week. What's going on there?
It's fucking fun. I finished a run, and it is just more Hades, but with more stuff. So it's just a banger 10 out of 10 game in my eyes.
So much more stuff that I've been telling people. The wildest thing about Hades 2 is that it's also Hades 3.
Yeah,
it's both of them.
It kind of is. Yeah, there is so much stuff, and it's early access, so there's more stuff coming. What a wild game! What a fun game! I won't get too much into it. It just came out, and I don't want to spoil anything for people going through it.
I've put almost check it out. 25 hours into it. I could probably put another 25 and complete maybe the early access, but I think I'm done for now. I've done what I wanted to do. But yeah, amazing. This game is going to rock. When it hits 1.0, game of the year.
Oh, truly.
Game of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree. What do you got going on?
All right, I finished reading part 4 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. It's fun. It's more JoJo. I understand why people like Kira. I don't know if he was necessarily as amazingly compelling as he is kind of talked up to be.
You liked him more last week when we talked about
his introduction and the first sort of 2 little arcs that he's into, the first 2 fights are really, really good. By the end of it, he's still good, but it's less when you see too much of a person and what they're capable of, it kind of removes a little bit of the mystery of the allure, I guess. Still really good. Not as good. Part 2 is still my favorite. I don't think this overtakes it by any means. And I think the final fight of part 3 is still probably the best part of JoJo so far, just the best individual part. But this is still really good. And Kira is definitely one of the better bad. I mean, considering most of the bad guys are kind of bad guy of the week, other than Dio, Kira is, in my opinion, like a second place to Dio, like a pretty strong second place to Dio. So it's good. I moved on to reading part 5, which is interesting so far. Part 5 has a lot of at least one or maybe more carryover characters from part 4. So, I'm going to keep reading it along the way. We'll see how it goes. That's kind of my nighttime read right now. So yeah, it's very good though.
Dude, does Speedwagon have any kids?
Yeah, that's a good question. The Speedwagon Foundation still exists. And Joe Taro helps him out or uses him a bunch. I have not met another person with the last name Speedwagon since Aria.
That's a damn shame.
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's it for the show. Hey, thank you again for listening and watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave us feedback. Don't forget to go vote on whose magazine you think is better that we made. Leave us comments. Anything you think, give us an upvote, give us a thumbs up, ring the bell, subscribe, all that jazz. Next week, we'll probably go back to doing normal weekly manga review. Check out Twitter and Patreon, also links in the description. And that's it. Yeah. Thank you for being with us, everybody. Gautam, don't forget to say goodbye.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And just remember, you won't ever know what the One Piece is if you don't buy my magazine. You'll never find that.
I will read his magazine and I will tell you. Don't worry.
Oh,
if you vote for me, if vote for my manga, I will tell you the ending of One Piece. All that. Hey, thanks again, everybody. And don't forget to read more manga.